So, nostalgia can be a really powerful emotion, and there's no denying it can definitely sway your perception of something, usually in a positive way. And in Fortnite's case, nostalgia is actually something that plays into the game quite a bit when it comes to players who have been around for a long time, which may seem weird because the game as a whole is only 5 years old. Yet I find myself being quote-unquote nostalgic for a season that was only a year ago. And it's really strange that something like this can happen in such a short amount of time. And I think it's because Fortnite changes so frequently. I mean, just a year ago we were on a completely different map, the vibe of the game felt completely different, and a lot has changed since then. Oftentimes, nostalgia is the effect of a lot of change happening, usually over the course of a long period of time, but it can also be very sudden as well. Of course, I have way stronger nostalgia for things outside of Fortnite in my personal life that I experienced years and years and years ago, but I still have very strong nostalgia for particular moments in Fortnite's history. More specifically, certain seasons of Fortnite, which is something I haven't really experienced with any other online multiplayer game that I still play to this day. Like, there are obviously games that I'm very nostalgic for. Games such as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Little Big Planet, Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart DS, the list just goes on and on. But something you're gonna notice about a lot of these games is that they're very old compared to Fortnite at least. All of them releasing over a decade ago. Yet my favorite Fortnite season of all time, and the one that I am most nostalgic for, released in 2020. And that wasn't even close to the first Fortnite season I ever played, that being Chapter 1 Season 2. So it's just really, really weird how nostalgia can kind of change your perception of things and how fast it can actually affect you when it comes to things like this. Because I think it's mostly just because Fortnite, again, it changes so often and the game is always different. You can look back a year ago and it was probably completely different than it is now, no matter what time in Fortnite's history that you're watching this video. You could be watching this video in 2025 and the game is probably completely different than what it was a year ago from when you're watching it. And somebody watching this in 2025 might have nostalgia for 2024 Fortnite. My point here is that in the future, this is probably still going to be a reoccurring thing. And what I see a lot when it comes to online discussion about Fortnite seasons is nostalgia and how it plays into people's opinions, with a lot of people claiming that people just have nostalgia for certain seasons and that's why they have their opinions on them. Like, someone could say that a Chapter 1 season is amazing, but other people will reply to that and just say that they only like it because of nostalgia and that it wasn't actually that good, which could be true in their eyes, but I think that there's a lot of different factors when it comes to forming someone's opinion on a season of Fortnite. And while nostalgia can be a big one of those factors, at least for me, whenever I think of my opinions on different Fortnite seasons, I usually don't let my nostalgia interfere too much. And I think it's kind of weird to discredit someone's opinion just because you assume that they have nostalgia for something. And it's not really fair to the person who's giving that opinion. Like, I absolutely adore Chapter 1 Season 4. I think it was one of the best Fortnite seasons that we'd ever seen, but I can also recognize its faults. And I also feel it's counterproductive when giving criticism about a current season, because I oftentimes go back to older seasons to see what they did right in order to figure out why I don't like a current one. For example, I think that Chapter 3 Season 1 had great update consistency and always had something awesome to look forward to, unlike Chapter 4 Season 1. With that statement, I'm using a pro of a previous season to highlight a con of a current season that I have. It's kind of a more in-depth version of saying, oh, I really miss how Fortnite felt back in whatever chapter, whatever season. Because you see a lot of people being like, man, Fortnite used to be so good in Chapter 1. What happened? And I don't think it's fair to discredit that and say, oh, you're just nostalgic for Chapter 1, Fortnite's still good. I feel like it's actually important to have that discussion, like, what made Chapter 1 more fun in that person's eyes than current Fortnite? It's an interesting discussion, and I think it allows for us to see how Fortnite's changed over time, and us to see why maybe some people just don't really enjoy it as much anymore, or maybe, on the other hand, see why people may enjoy it more than they used to. It's also important to note that people usually only have nostalgia for seasons that they actually liked. So it's kind of weird to say that someone only likes something because they're nostalgic, because usually being nostalgic for something is actually the effect of someone liking something. And it's also important to note that opinions may change over time. Someone could really enjoy a season and then slowly realize that it wasn't really that good, or really hate a season but over time realize that it was actually pretty good in hindsight and they wish they could go back to it. There's so much nuance in just the littlest opinions that boiling something down to, oh, you're just nostalgic, is just kind of crazy to me, and it can really destroy any discourse around a topic. Yes, nostalgic is a big factor in opinions, but I don't think it's fair to boil down someone's argument based on how nostalgic for something they are. Though I do think it could be helpful to take your nostalgic biases away for a second and look at something for what it is, in the interest of criticism or critique. Like, for example, I can look at Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 3, my favorite Fortnite season of all time, and still pick apart a bunch of stuff that I don't actually like about it. That doesn't mean that I think it's bad, it just means that I'm able to take my nostalgic glasses off and still view it for what it is, despite my biases towards the season. And even in doing that, all my thoughts on it would still be opinionated, because after all, not everyone's going to agree on what makes a good Fortnite season. And all your thoughts and opinions are just based on what you as the player enjoy most, and find the most entertaining. And oftentimes your favorite seasons, and the seasons you have the most fun with, are gonna create the best memories, which result in the heaviest nostalgia, which I don't think has to be a bad thing. But let me know, what do you guys think about what I talked about today? Let me know in the comment section below. I know this is kind of a different topic for a video, but I just kind of thought of it on the spot and thought I might as well give my thoughts on it. See if it creates some interesting discussion in the comments, who knows. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supported creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.